28th day of the war that is being marked, and let's take you through of this latest ultimatum that has now been issued by the President of the United States. Donald Trump, who had an epic meltdown on Easter Sunday, the biggest choke point in the raging Middle East war or the West Asia war is the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the President of the United States has now set a new deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and has now warned that if Iran does not do so, then the US will unleash hell upon Iran. The deadline that expires on 6:30 a.m. on Wednesday IST, which is Indian Standard Time. Meanwhile, Iran has sharply hit back at President Trump's fresh threats to strike power plants and bridges, with a senior minister calling President Trump to be unstable, delusional figure. Tehran has also dismissed Washington's warning over the Strait of Hormuz, insisting that the waterway will remain closed to the enemies of Iran.
ترامپ یک شخصیت متزلزل، متوهم با مجموعه تناقضات هست. جامعه ایران معمولاً به حرفهای ترامپ اعتنایی نمی کند، چون باور دارد که ایشان فاقد تعادل شخصیتی و رفتاری و کلامی است و هر لحظه با یک موضوع متناقضی مواجه میشه. به نظر میرسه که ترامپ به یک پدیده‌ای تبدیل شده است که نه ایرانی‌ها، امریکایی‌ها هم قدرت تحلیلش این شخصیت رو ندارند و راجع به بحث تنگه برای جهانیان باز هست ولی برای دشمنان ایران بسته.
Well, we have Mayank joining us here on the broadcast. Mayank, good morning. I mean, the kind of reaction that came in on Easter Sunday by President Trump, in fact, I had to read it multiple times to make sure that this is the President of the United States of America that has now, put out this very expletive-laden media post. But he seems to be now threatening when it comes to key infrastructure of Iran is concerned. We are looking at bridges and power plants and all this just for the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz.
This word deadline has been so many times repeated, and rather we had been hearing numbers, different numbers attached to deadlines. It started with 2 days, 5 days, 10 days now, which is ending, as we had already talked about, on Wednesday 6:30 a.m. Having said that, but what the kind of operations which continue doesn't show any let up in the things in the coming days. And Strait of Hormuz, as we understand and we had seen, is effectively under the control of Iran. They have used it as a strategic tool to the extent that they had been deciding whether the civil vessels or commercial vessels will be moving, and none of the military vessels can move that side. Bahrain happens to be one of the biggest base, naval base of the US. So what you see effectively, it is the Iran which has been controlling the vehicle movement in that area. Having said that, deadlines, let us wait and watch, because it is important the way the things are there, and let us hope that some midway is found out and this things comes to end, because the whole world has got encompassed because of this narrow strip which is water passage, which is Strait of Hormuz, and the problems are being felt by the common man mostly.
And Mayank, mostly when we speak of, President Trump, because there is no telling of what he's going to say next. Because there came a point where he seems to be shrugging off the responsibility or accountability on the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. He had passed that responsibility to the other countries as well who've been affected. Now it seems that the Strait of Hormuz is turning into an Achilles heel for him.
If we remember, actually, he was talking about the NATO countries to take charge of the things and to keep that passage open, to the extent that even China was also harked in, or it was also talked about that they should also be playing a role in keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. And the good thing part has been that Indian diplomatic overtures and initiatives have paid fruits, and we had been able to get our own vessels which were laden with energy, gases and all coming to us. And in that case, it also made an appearance as if when the president of the US was talking about other countries to take charge of that area and to keep it open, so people had been questioning the entire process, that Had it been so, then why the entire process or the war was started? Because the responsibility has, if it was to be given to the other people who were not willing to take part into it. And Italy, the UK, France, Germany, they all have shown that that they were not interested into taking charge or playing a sort of a active role in keeping the passage open that side.
Well, that's the point there, because now Iran seems to be also in a position that it is unrelenting, because they have, in a way, condemned the kind of statement and the words that has been used by President Trump. But now they have called him that, he's a delusional world leader, and it's a dangerous one who holds this kind of power, uncontrolled power. But as far as Tehran is concerned, we are getting to know as far as the Mehrabad airport has come under attack again. According to Iranian media reports, there have been massive explosions that have been reported at the west of Tehran, and this is near the Mehrabad airport. And this has now been seen as smoke has been witnessed there on your screens, as you can see those pictures there. Let's quickly explain those pictures as well that has been reported. However, the extent of the damage is not something that is being confirmed yet, but this is the Iranian media reports that has been suggesting that near the Mehrabad airport in Tehran, we're looking at these huge explosions that has been reported. Let's take a look at these pictures there, full screen, and we get you a sense exactly when it comes to the 2 to 3 weeks timeline that President Trump had said before his, address to the American people. Now, this seems to be the very extent of the damage that has now been incurred on ground. This is the pictures earlier today coming in from Tehran. Iranian media has been reported that multiple and massive explosions, there you can see, massive explosions that have been reported to the west of Tehran. This is near the Mehrabad airport. Mehrabad airport has been a very crucial area as far as it has come under attack previously as well. And these explosions that have now been reported at the west of Tehran, smoke that can be seen near the airfield, near the capital itself, and multiple blasts that have now rocked the airport area. And this is what has now been reported as per the Iranian media reports, that as far as in the heart of Tehran, what we are now looking at with this is near the Mehrabad airport, which has now come under attack, and massive explosions that have been reported. However, the area in which and the extent of the damage that has been incurred, well, those reports are not coming in, so that is yet unconfirmed. In the meantime, let's also